Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader from the techtrader.com, and these are the charts of the day. It's Wednesday, May the 30th. Both some longs and shorts today. Market's tenuous here and could very well roll over. We need to be prepared on the short side as well. But the longs that acted well today include alphabetically, let's see, Arena Pharmaceuticals, looking quite interesting with this big thrust it had earlier this month, I should say, with a big breakaway gap that ran to resistance, then formed the need pen, and today it popped 30 cents or almost 5%. The volume increased to 17.5 million shares, and if it gets through this spike high we had recently at 701, that'd be my short-term target. We could see the stock at 7.5 very quickly, maybe even 3/4. Through that, then the stock could fly. Big pop today from Neon Node, which earlier in April ran from the under $3 to 5.5, backed off to the 50-day, held, jumped up and formed a little consolidation here, and then today popped and broke out. If we draw the lines on a parallel basis and try to figure out a potential channel top or at least short-term target, I'm looking at something up around 7.25. OSIR had a nice move today after the big thrust a couple weeks ago. It pulled back to test, and where it held was right at the breakout point on the base pattern. Here we go, right there. See it? Pulled back right there. Also held the 10-day moving average and then popped and snapped back sharply, moving from 5.5 all the way up to 7.5. Now today it did stick its head to a new high, but backed off. Didn't close particularly well, up 49 cents or 7.5%. 1.4 million traded though. That was the heaviest in a while. I'm looking for the stock to get back above the 728 area and run up towards short term about 8.25, and then we'll see where that goes. Swire, which is the Sierra Wireless, you can see after the pop earlier in the month and then a nice wedge, it broke out and been stair-stepping its way higher within the channel as technicals increase. I'm looking for 9.5 or so short term. And we get through that on a longer term basis, we could see this thing run up into the 11-12 zone. Sync, ever since the IPO, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 legs. We've had a 3-wave corrective move back down to the 50, forming the bottom of the channel, and now the sharp move back up that snapped it back from the 8.25 range up to today's high, just under 14, and also setting a new high. It was a wonderful close, only 3 cents off the high, closing at near the high for the day, going away. So looking for more upside at a thrust that could take this to 17-18 range. TFM had a big day today. That's the fresh market with a big pop in earnings. As the stock then ran up near the top of the channel, we may get some follow through tomorrow up towards 58. If we get through that, look for something in the low 60s. Threshold Pharmaceuticals may have begun to make a move today. You can see a little pop it had after reversed off the moving averages and closed with a gain of 26 cents on the day. That was 3.75%, but and volume did increase to 2.8 million, the best in about a week and a half. So let's see if we can get a follow through and explode this sucker and get it up to retest the $9 range short term. Beyond that, 11.12. UPI, fantastic move up, but it's getting a little long in the tooth. As I indicated to you yesterday when I showed it to you and the day before, I think it may get up towards the 495 zone before it peaks out, and we'll see whether we can reach that in the next day or so. VHC with a wonderful day. Yesterday it popped out. Today it followed through. It did back up. It was only up 61 cents, but 2.25 million traded. And it looks to me like the reason for the back off was this major line here connecting this high and that high. But should we get through there, look for a run that takes us to 40 plus. Now on the short side, I want to show you some stocks that are looking quite negative alphabetically. ANF, which has been on our list for a while, could, even though it's oversold here, it doesn't look like it wants to bounce in the zone. We may have to get lower levels. It did bounce for a couple of days in a flag type. Today it dropped $1.98, 5.5%. It may very well be headed near the bottom of the channel and lateral support at around 30, 30.5. APEI looking as bad as it gets. If you recall, this head and shoulder type top cracked, and then a bear flag formed. I gave you a heads up boxer swing trade on the short side around 39.5, and over the last couple of months it's gotten all the way down to 27. Bounced, formed a little wedge, and this may very well go. Should it break down below 26.90, 27, well, this stock could be substantially lower. Up next is Carboceramics, which absolutely looks terrible. Head and shoulder top breakdown, ran all the way back up to double top here, came down, gap lower, formed the bear flag, came down slowly but steadily, and has stabilized. However, if that's the best this can do after such a long decline, a bear flag, look out below. Down $1.56 today. I'm looking for more downside in the stock, potentially as low as something near 60. So keep an eye on this one. Could fall apart at some point. The market falls apart for sure. CWEI, Clayton Williams Energy, with oil stocks coming down based on the price of oil and everything else. In general, we can see the topping pattern, the breakdown, the little bear flag, the secondary breakdown, the flag or wedge around support. It appears it wants to go lower. It dropped 348, nearly 6% today. And if this cracks, we can see this down around the high 40s to low 50s very quickly. Deckers has been a bearish chart for me for a long time. Head and shoulders top to break down the big wedge, the pull back down, the rally back to resistance failed, the gap to the downside, another bear flag's forming. Check this out. Today it dropped 236 or 4%. It appears to me it's going to go down and retest the lows around 50.5, but that's just if it holds there. If not, mid 40s. Great Northern with a big drop, a wedge, another huge drop and a big wedge, and I think we're going to get a fifth wave down to take this near 50.52. LTM Lifetime Fitness, which I put out as a box of short on the snapback here, has dropped from 46.75 down to 42. Has now formed a bear flag. It appears likely that it could roll over and get down towards maybe under 40 on this move. Red Robin Gourmet, I hate this company. Anyway, topping pattern, breakdown, bear wedge. It looks to me like it's about to roll over. Be careful of a move under 30. It could get ugly. Looking for 27-ish. SCHN Schnitzer Steel. We're going to have to see if they're a rollover like this, as sharp as it's gotten, if this is the best it can do with a bear flag, we may have some more downside to work on. Look for something in the low 20s. And lastly, today's Valiant Pharmaceuticals, which cracked with a big reversal bar from the bear wedge, which I pointed out, and then rolled over to test support and bounced. But it's already rolling over, and a takeout of 45.5 could lead to something near 40, 41. That's my target. And that's it for tonight on the charts of the day. Good evening, everyone.